Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, an arson attack on a northern business has caused nearly $500,000 damage. Fire crews battled the YOUNGTOWN structure fire in the early hours of this morning, but were unable to contain the blaze, eventually impacting a neighbouring business.
Lighting up the night sky. A raging inferno blazing through a vacant property in YOUNGTOWN.
Crews were called to a structure fire at the premise at approximately 3 o'clock this morning. So we responded crews from both Rocherley and Launceston. As they approached the scene, they could see a large amount of smoke and flames.
Neighbours reported waking in the early hours to a bright light streaming in from the former Tamar Cars business along Hobart Road. The premises was fully engulfed, taking crews 30 minutes to extinguish, with fireys still on the scene hours later, examining the extent of the damage.
Around $400,000 worth of damage has been caused to it.
The destruction spilling over into a neighbouring business, with New Age caravans also a victim of the inferno.
It did impact an adjoining business, and crews worked to protect those exposures in that business.
Some caravans in a nearby property have been heat damaged from that fire.
Forensic investigators combed through the destruction, labelling the fire as arson.
The fire scene examiners attended this morning, conducted an examination, and it's believed that accelerants were found on the scene, which would suggest it's been deliberately lit.
Investigations are ongoing. Tasmania Police are calling on members of the public with any information to come forward. MAKENNA, BAILY, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, police are investigating a break-in at a Lagana petrol station early this morning. 3 youths allegedly forcefully entered the United service station around 2:30, with one of the offenders making his way in through the roof.
Around $25,000 worth of cigarettes and other electrical items were stolen from that premises. What's disappointing is the amount of damage that was caused to get in, nearly $20,000 worth of damage to still $25,000 worth of property.
A stolen silver Mazda was used, later found in Lilydale, burnt out. Half the stolen cigarettes were recovered this afternoon. Investigations are continuing. Questions have been asked about $500,000 worth of funding given to the Longford Grand Prix Expo. The event was cancelled by organisers, with the government now working with the group to recoup the funds, but it's not yet known how much is missing.
Any organisation that's been given a state government grant, there are rigorous guidelines to follow and to report to.
Even after a week, they haven't been able to explain how much has been spent or where it's gone and what they're going to do to get that money back.
Locals are now working to create their own motorsport show for the March long weekend. Tasmania's Chinese community is celebrating the beginning of the new lunar year. Cultural dancers and other performers lighting up Parliament lawns and bringing in the Year of the Rabbit with a bang.
When it's Lunar New Year, you can get a little closer to the fireworks.
It symbolises the smoke and noise to scare away the evil spirits, so it'd be good for the city of Hobart.
The biggest date on the lunar calendar, drawing thousands to Parliament lawns. Greeted by the traditional colours and movement of the season.
We're very pleased that we actually have the ability to present some of the traditional dragons and lions and some of the colour, the noise that are associated in mainland China and Hong Kong and other Asian countries.
We have friends and also have family here.
It's great to see Hobart celebrating Chinese heritage, because we're far away from home. We normally don't get to see this kind of stuff.
I just wanted to show Evie some of the cultures that are aside from ours.
Many found the moment to tuck into traditional foods or take in a new twist on a classic Australian tune.
And I think what you can see today is so many different families from so many different cultures enjoying the food, the entertainment and the festivities.
Crowds here and across the world are welcoming in the Year of the Rabbit. 2023 is set to be full of kindness, compassion and sensitivity. A little piece of China here in Hobart. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A Kingston housing development will be expanded following Council's approval of amended plans. 50 new apartments will be built at the Kings Quarter site, with 80 homes already online. The units are expected to go on sale early this year. Commercial offices have also been slated for the fast-growing site. An application has now been lodged. Labor is calling on the state government to do more to help Tasmanians with rising energy costs. Disability pensioner Todd Gittis says his quarterly bill has risen by $50 in the past year, and he's been forced to cut back on groceries and energy use.
How can you survive on a couple of dollars a fortnight once you pay everything? Like, I've got no emergency money. So if there's an emergency, like say I've got to take my cat to the vet, I've got no way of doing it.
As a government, we obviously have a concern for power prices and the impact that it can have on particularly vulnerable Tasmanians.
Liberal MHA Elise says further support will be considered in the lead up to May's budget. A Tasmanian Jack Jumper star has helped bring an 8-year-old boy's dream come to life. The Make-A-Wish recipient taking to the court after a surprise visitor to his house.
It was a knock at the door 8-year-old Ned could have never expected.
Hello. Hello, hello. Is Ned home?
Little did he know his wish was about to come true.
Yeah, was you a good boy today?
Yeah.
Well, look, I'd like to invite you to practice with us on Thursday. Would you like to come?
Yes, please.
It's been a tough few years for the Jack Jumper fanatic. His world turned upside down on Grand Final Day 2019 when he started complaining about a sore shoulder.
And then by the Monday he actually couldn't walk, so it was on that Monday that he received the diagnosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Little Ned endured constant hospital visits over the next 6 months.
After that first 6 months he actually was quite strong and was able to go back to school.
Even pushing himself to get back to playing sport as soon as he could.
But you know, the things you don't see is before he'd go on the field he'd probably be vomiting.
But on this day, the Jack Jumpers and Make-A-Wish Foundation joined forces to help his dreams come true.
And then I looked behind me and I saw Rashad Kelly. I was very shocked.
His brother Monty also in on the secret.
And they were a bit starstruck because he's Rashad Kelly at our house. And then, yeah, he was really nice and we got just to hang out with him. It was fun.
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Talia Jordan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian-born Casey Barnes won his first ever Golden Guitar Award last night for Album of the Year. Light It Up is the 7th album for the musician. It was released through Michael Chugg's Chug Music early last year and peaked at number 2 on the Australian country music chart. He grew up in Launceston, then moved to Queensland to pursue his music career. More than 100 athletes have descended on Greens Beach, spending the perfect summer's day doing battle. 2 Launceston locals dominated the triathlon, managing to claim first place in the men's and women's races.
Taking to the surf, sand and streets, 120 competitors endured the summer heat for the Greens Beach Triathlon.
First is a 750 metre swim and then it goes through to a 20k ride and a 5k run. This year as well we also had an ocean swim which was a 1500 and a 500 as well.
With the community coming out in full support across the 2-day event.
It's just great, there's lots of people down here watching as you can see, and it's just good for a small community like this to put an event on where there's people from all around Tassie is great.
Green and gold star power was on display at Greens Beach, with Jake BIRTWHISTLE dominating the competition. The Olympian unbeatable, even with a 4-minute handicap.
Felt like an eternity as I was standing there on the start line. Watching them swim away was a bit of a worry, but yeah, it was a lot of fun for me to chase them all down.
Casually crossing the finish line first with a time of 1 hour and 2 minutes, 5 minutes behind his race record set in 2020. In the women's, Beth Allen backed up last year's win.
It was really nice to sort of have a go again and just enjoy it. It was a bit hot today, but otherwise great. I saw a stingray on the swim, so it was nice, clear conditions.
With plenty of support along the sidelines.
Seeing my friends, yeah, a couple of my friends came and watched, which was really nice. I saw them as I was going up the hill, which gave me a little bit of extra motivation.
Rounding out the swim, cycle and straight run, surrounded by friends and family. MAKENNA BAILY, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian sprinter Jacob Despard is finding form on the mainland. The Commonwealth Games team member broke the Tasmanian 200 metre record at a meet in Queensland last night. He clocked a time of 20.78 seconds finishing just behind Caleb Law. In the A-League, Western United left it late but got its season back on track in stunning fashion at North Hobart Oval last night. The match appeared to be heading for a scoreless draw until captain Alessandro Diamanti produced something special.
Oh, cheeky! Oh! That is unbelievable! And who else? Alessandro Diamanti!
He also scored a yellow card for his celebration. The screamer not only a Goal of the Year contender, but also moved United above the Sky Blues on the ladder. Swoop Dog's sensational summer has continued, adding the Summer Cup to its growing trophy cabinet. The John Blackard-trained horse swept to the lead at the 600-metre mark and didn't look back. The Longford and Devonport Cup champion storming home for its third win in a row. Meanwhile, NED'S Sugar stormed to victory in the Elwick Stakes, winning by a couple of lengths, while Just a NED'S pipped Pink Beauty at the post in the 1,000 guineas. And finally tonight, it's been Tasmania's day at the Red Herring Surf Pro-Am, with the two locals taking out the top prizes. Organisers are happy with how the inaugural event turned out, and they're already looking to make it bigger and better next year.
A weekend on the water searching for that perfect break.
Conditions for the weekend have been amazing. We started off down the other end of the beach here at Goats and greeted with 3 to 4 foot surf.
A pool of 60 surfers were whittled down to 2 one-on-one duels for the Red Herring Pro-Am prize. The competition is fierce as some of the waves.
We had heat totals of 16 points, which is excellent surfing out of 20.
It's been a tough competition through the whole event, really. It's been a pretty stacked heat draw.
In the Women's Open final, local surfing's favourite daughter claimed the prize. Former World Junior Champion DARA Penfold seeing off a strong challenge and calm conditions.
There was only 2 sets that came through and I think I was lucky enough to score onto one of them.
In the men's, conditions were more favourable as Jai Johannesson and Rudy Davis battled it out in a close contest. In the end, Davis, a Clifton Beach local, was too good. His early scores paying off.
It always eases a few nerves if you just put a couple of scores on the board and then you got something to build off.
With one event down, organisers are already looking towards the future, hoping to ride a wave of momentum and encourage more interstate competitors to take part.
We had about 5 entrants from interstate, but next year we look to increase that to hopefully a dozen.
Yeah, I'm born and bred down here in Tassie, and it's so nice to actually see such a high quality event.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening everyone. 25 degrees in Launceston today, Devonport 23, 22 in Burnie and Hobart 21. Scott's Peak, the state's top today of 27 degrees, 25 in Ouse, Flinders Island and Smithton 24, 23 on King Island and in Strawn, and St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Grove all 22. A moderate level of convective cloud can be seen forming over much of the state this afternoon. Further out, mostly convective cloud and isolated thunderstorms are also over much of the east, north and west of the continent, with predominantly clear skies in central areas and South Australia. Tomorrow, a high can be seen building over the south of the Tasman Sea, extending a ridge over Tasmania and the Bight, with a trough over Queensland and New South Wales. East to northeasterly winds tomorrow 5 to 15 knots, more variable in the southwest. Afternoon showers and 24 in Hobart tomorrow, 25 in Dover, Ouse reaching 26. Launceston 24 with afternoon showers, a shower or 2 and 23 in Devonport and Scottsdale. 21 degrees in Burnie tomorrow, Strawn 24, possible showers and 23 in Stanley, and showers also in the east with 22 in St Helens, Swansea 23 and Ross a top of 24. And the UV tomorrow remains very high across the state, with sunrise expected at 6:03 a.m. On Tuesday, light showers about the northeast and northwest in the morning. Light showers about the northwest on Wednesday, increasing over central, western and southern areas. And on Thursday, showers about the west, far south and northeast, easing during the afternoon. Mostly sunny and 32 in Perth tomorrow, Adelaide 31, showers in Canberra and Sydney, 29 in Brisbane and 32 in Cairns and Broome. And currently mostly cloudy and 20 degrees in Hobart and Launceston, and Devonport mostly sunny and 20. And that's all in Sunday night's weather, some rain ahead, but still some warm temperatures, Tom.
A little bit muggy. Thank you so much for that, Chelsea. And that's all from the 7 Tasmania News team for now. Louise is back in the seat tomorrow night. For now, have a lovely Sunday evening.